All right, and we are live. Aloha, everyone. We are live and inspired today. I'm your host, Gregory Cobra, also known on the interwebs and YouTubes as you get to baby handsome Cobra. And today we are going to get into a little topic that I kind of was quite fascinated about, and that is what is an incel or involuntary celibate and that sort of thing. So, because I was talking with a couple of people and what the because I just learned about this stuff about what involuntary celibacy is, and yeah, and I'm just quite fascinated by it. And then I watched the Joker yesterday, and I seen this stuff on Fox News, and they were talking about um, how the incels are gonna rise up and get glorified, or this movie is propaganda, and it's going to make the incel, the beta apparently, rise up and become an alpha. And I'm just like, well, what the hell is an incel? And I mean, and then I looked into it, and I was like, hell, man, that ain't nothing. They ain't nothing but pussies. I mean, they ain't nothing but manginas. Well, we used to call them in the military. They got sand in the clit. you know, I mean, they gotta dust that shit off and just be fucking man or men. You know, it's like that's all that is. Now, so I'll get into what. Well, apparently, there's like some Reddit stuff, and they kind of break it down a little bit. Like I guess there was a thing on Reddit, and it kind of got banned. This incel group, this subreddit, and the thing was that I mean they go into specifics about okay, like well, incels basically blame attractive people, I guess, and attractive is basically in the eye of the beholder, because attractiveness could be physical, it could be spiritual, it could be psychological, it could be emotional. I mean, you could be attracted to somebody. I mean, hell, I mean, you know, I myself am a handsome man. I cannot deny, I know, ladies and gentlemen. But the thing is that I know that everybody is not attracted to me, and that's cool. And I'm not attracted to everyone else, even though, I try to spread the love evenly to everyone. But that's just the way it is. And, and, just you can't, number one, you can't blame somebody if they're attractive. I mean, physically, mentally, emotionally, and attractive, and being attractive. So that's what the incels kind of put views on, is like the physical more than the stimulating of the psychological or emotional aspects of that. And so a female would be a Stacy, and a male would be a Chad. Stacy is a really nice name. Chad, I mean, I don't know. I would never name my kid Chad, because that's not really a manly name. I mean, that's like, Todd and Kyle. I mean, William, Bill, George, Howard. Those are manly names. I would be proud to name my son that. But Chad, gotta rethink that. So yeah, they kind of break it down, and then about how they blame society for their misfortunes, right? For not being attractive enough, or just it's this. I was talking with a good friend of mine. Y'all may know him, and usually he's my partner in crime on this stuff. But we had a great conversation earlier, and we were talking about this, and it's like it's just that cancel culture. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like you pick your clique, or you pick your group, and you just kind of go with somebody that who thinks like you, who has the same uh, ideas or ideology as you, because that's what it is, because that's what incels are. It's an ideology. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of behaving. It's a behavior. Um, and it's not a good behavior. Like, listen, look, I've been alone, I've been married, I've had a girlfriend, or girlfriends. I mean, not at the same time, of course, but but it's like, and even myself, it's like, I just, the first off, if you're on the internet half the time, or if you're just home alone and you don't go out and meet people, then and you're just like really introverted, and I understand that, hey, I'm a very extroverted person, but I'm also an introvert too. Okay, I have those qualities, personalities at times where I want to just play a video game and stuff like that, but I'm mostly an extroverted person. Then you're not going to meet somebody, you're not going to get out there, you're not going to be around people, right? You're going to be just having this, what they would call an echo chamber, and you're going to be like, oh man, I can't find, I'm a great guy, I'm the perfect guy, you know or I'm the perfect lady, like, let's say, I mean, I'm kind of coming from a man's point of view, because I'm a man, I'm masculine, I identify my sex and gender as a man, so I'm coming at it from a male point of view, you know so I can't really speak for women, but the thing is that, yeah, it's like you get down on the dumps, and I've been there too, because you're like, god damn, man, it's like, I can't, like, I don't know what's going on, like, I'm in this funk, right? I just can't get a date, or I can't get a woman to say hey to me, or to give her your number and she don't call, or you get her number and she doesn't respond back to you. I mean, I've been in those places, and you just kind of move on. You say, you know what, she's missing out on a good thing. She don't know what she missing out on, or maybe she got things in her life that she can't, or he, but in my case, it would be a she. They got stuff in their own life, or they just don't have time right now. I mean, it's really bad. Maybe they're doing school, maybe they work 2 jobs, maybe they're a single mom, you never know, or maybe they're going through a divorce right now, they're legally separated and stuff like that. I mean, it's just that time. I mean, you can't blame uh people for your misfortunes. You just gotta uh pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and sometimes you just got to take responsibility and accountability for your own actions, because let me tell you, ain't nobody gonna pull you up by the bootstraps unless if it's yourself, in those type of situations. And just blame society for those actions is just not the proper way to do things. I mean, and I understand that, yeah, it's easier to blame society than to blame the person uh, who would be responsible for those future actions. Numero uno, number one, yourself. I understand that. And it's easy to play the blame game, but you got to look internally, inside, and figure out what's going on with you. Because let me tell you something, I can tell you this right now, and this is from personal fucking experience. I'm not gonna lie to you. Women that I've gone after, when they smelled what I would call desperation, not really desperation, but they could smell that shit a mile away. They could smell it. It's like they don't want any part of it. And that's the thing about, like, these incels, when you have these people that kind of do this blame game stuff, when they blame society, you have shit that's been happening. Like, I think the first incident, like the first major incident of this stuff, happened in 2014, where this one person, you know, I believe they killed 8 people, uh, wounded 9, and in total it was like 14 people got injured. And then from 2014 on, you've had these instances. I believe 2018 was the last one, in like November of last year. And incels consider themselves betas. They don't really consider themselves alphas. And and like I said before, I mean, some of them actually they praise this other person, and the thing is that a lot of these people who did these harmful acts, they committed suicide afterwards. You know, I mean, it's like it's that whole fucked up mentality of like, I'm, I don't want to be. It's like I mean, I can't speak. I can only speculate. It's like I don't want to be alone, so I'm going to take other people down with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be alone. It's like one of those things where I always see, no one wants to be alone. You know, everybody wants to be around people, even if it's people who are like minded, right? Because honestly, at the end of the day, people don't want to be alone. It's just the way it is. It's the way our society, way our biology and psychology is made up. You know. Now there are times where we do want to be alone and stuff like that, and we need our alone time, of course, of course, of course. But I mean, just in general, you know, because that's when you get depression. That's when you get people, internalizing themselves and basically, and I mean, I've done a little bit of research on this, and basically, some people who are these incels, they don't have to be have anti-personality disorder. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to have that. It's just basically they're just they're lashing out because they think that the world's against them, or at least in my personal opinion, it's like they think the world's against them. And the thing is that, listen, look, were we ever asked to be born in this world? No. I mean, it's like the thing that got us here, man, was a selfish act by our parents. You know what I'm saying? No one asked me if I wanted to be born, but you know what? I'm trying to make the best I can with what I got. Okay. But I'm not gonna say that I really enjoy doing this podcast. I really love it. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that you can't blame other people for not having what you want. I mean, I'm like this, man. The world gives you what you need. Maybe not what you want. Maybe sometimes what you want and need parallel. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they parallel. But at the end of the day, it's like you get what you need. You know. And sometimes I gotta tell you too, is that if there's anybody who feels like they're like an incel or something like that, it's like I was told a long time ago, and I found this out a long time ago, that we love who we believe we deserve. We do. I mean, that's the truth. That's why like that one person, right? That I said that was like, I'm the perfect guy. I think I'm the perfect gentleman. I'm this, I'm that. Open doors for ladies. I say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. It's like I'm the perfect guy, and still I don't get the attention that I believe I deserve. See, that's the thing, is that you can't think that you deserve, and you can't be that way. You know, you do nice things because that's in your nature. You're not expecting anything to get back. Because if you're already expecting something to get back, then then you're not doing it out of good nature. You're doing it out of uh, something that's basically inherent inside of you that you expect gratification and recognition for. You know, and that's not right. You got to do it because you want to do it. I mean, that's anything you do. And like I was saying before, like with the incel people, those people that think that they're the perfect gentleman, it's like, that's great, that's fine, man, but you're not living in the now. I mean, you know, for people to think that a woman should just be like, because it's kind of, to me, it's like they think that just because that they're nice, that gives them a rite of passage for a woman to just fall head over heels with them, or a man, or anything like that. No, it's just, it's everybody is equal. Everybody has their own thoughts, own feelings, and things of that nature. I mean, you know, some some people I'm attracted to, you know. But I don't think that just because I'm nice to them that they owe me anything. Hell no, you know. I mean, if they don't even want to give me a fucking handshake, I mean that's fine, you know. I mean, you know, and that's like me. Hell, I've been rejected before. I mean, and that's fine. I mean, you know, I've given women my business card. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I give them my business card is number one, it already has my number on it, so it's like it's readily available. And number two, I'm not having to search for a fucking pen. I mean, it's just you know, and it looks more professional, which it is, you know. And also too, number three, the ball's in their court. If a woman really wants to actually get to know me, sit down, have a coffee, have a tea, you know, go out, see a picture show, you know, or just get my thoughts on things, then you know, let me tell you know, we can do that. That's fine. But the ball's in her court. She don't owe me shit. You know, I mean, I gave her my number openly and honestly and freely. You know, it's her to make the move. I made the first move by giving it to her. I made the initial move. You know, that's called being a fucking, that's a true gentleman right there. You know, and I'm not gonna be pissed off and mad and think that she's a slut or a whore or like what. No, no, no. That's unbecoming of a gentleman. That's not a part of the gentleman code. That's not, you know, that is not being a gentleman by any means. I mean, once again, she may have things in her life where she just has to put, you know, men, women, whatever she, you know, whatever she's into on the back burner. So, perfect example. I'll tell you this right now. Perfect example. It's a true story. I was at the VA. I had to go to the VA a little while ago, and I met this very beautiful woman. You know, I'll keep her name secret because you know what? That's what gentlemen do. You know, but let's just say you know, for the purposes of this exercise, we'll just say Stacy, right? You know, since you know, incels, you know, they say Stacy's, right? So Stacy, you know, we have a lovely conversation, Stacy and I. You know, because we're both in line, we're both waiting. I told her a funny joke. This how I broke the ice. Because we were both waiting, and I was like, you know, I gotta tell you, I think my whole military, half my military career was deployments and a line. You know what? See, I know I'm going to hell, but you know what hell's going to be for me? It's going to be a line, one big line. It's just waiting, and it's going to be, I'm going to be nut the butt. You know, it's going to be all dudes. It's going to be a sausage fest, and it's just going to be nut the butt, and we're just going to keep on squinching a little bit more, keep on moving up and moving up, you know, make your buddy smile type shit, because basically we're just trying to basically hopefully the line will move up if we make it move up a little bit, just a little centimeter by centimeter, inch by inch, you know, millimeter by millimeter. You know, she started laughing and stuff, and you know, she was like, "Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, it's like, you know, because she was prior service herself, you know, and we had a lovely conversation. I mean, you know, she was going back in the military. You know, she had to get some paperwork and and yeah, and we just had this lovely conversation, and I didn't expect anything of it, but I did. But while we were talking, I did have that ooh squirrel moment where I was like, hey, you know, it was kind of like almost like an out of body experience. I mean, if you can imagine this, where it's just like my inside voice was saying, yo, dummy, handsome Cobra, hey, dummy. It's like she, I think she's getting into you, bro. So because I was making jokes, cracking jokes, making her laugh and all this jazz. And so, you know, after she got her paperwork and stuff, she was like, hey, you know, I mean, she actually she stood up and extended her hand like to give me a handshake. She was like, hey, it was very nice to meet you. I'm like, oh yeah, hey. I was like, hey, wait a second. And I gave her my card. I was like, hey, listen, look, you know, I know you're gonna be going, you know, out of state for, you know, to do all this other jazz that you were talking about doing, you know, to get back into the the military. But hey, if you know, if you want and you want to continue this conversation, give me a call sometime, you know. And she was like, okay, cool, yeah, hey, I will. And I was like, great. And then she gracefully left, you know. And the thing was, is that, you know, do I expect her to call? I'm gonna be serious and honest. No, Is there like a 10% chance that she will? Yeah, I give it 10%. Hell, I give it 12. I'll give it 12%. 10 to 12% that she'll call. Am I gonna be disappointed, mad, pissed off, or like feel rejected, or feel like lower than whale shit because she didn't call? Hell no, I won't. Am I still, going out and talking to other women? You're damn right I am. You want to know why? Because it's like, I gave her my card. I don't even know if she's gonna call. We didn't even set up a fucking date or a hangout or anything like that. The thing is that you kind of have to basically, I wouldn't even say call it practice. It's just one of those things where you go out, and you see what basically, if there's somebody that you find attractive, because physical attraction is kind of like, yeah, you have to be physically attracted to a person, right? You just have to be. That's usually what it is that kind of sets off the discussion, or wanting to start a conversation, right? And then actually having an intelligent conversation, like I had with this lady Stacy at the VA, is continuing that conversation. Like if she calls and leaves a message for me, and says, hey, it's Stacy from the VA. We talked, like a while ago. Hey, I just wanted to see how you're doing, blah blah blah, and want to see if maybe you would like to go out for coffee sometime, before I leave. Great. But if that doesn't happen, I'm not going to be disappointed. But like I said, it's just one of those things where you just gotta, the way, and what will become of it. I mean, if at the end of the day we find out that we have a lot of things in common, which we do, just from talking with her, we have a lot of similar taste in music and movies and style and stuff like that. I mean, I told her about the podcast and stuff like that. She goes on YouTube too. I mean, just if anything else, she likes the same stuff I like, and we just find out that we can like hanging out with each other, but more as like what do they call it? Not just a friendly outing with one another. A platonic, relationship. There we go. Platonic relationship. Just me being a male and her being a female, and that's all that becomes it. It just good company. Then hell, why not? Why can't a man and a woman just have good company without having some type of dark-seated, rooted, deception or manipulation or persuasion going on? I mean, I know. I break it down to you like this too. I know a lady who I know currently, she has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend thinks that basically if a man wants to hang out with her, he's looking for one thing only. Well, you guessed it, sex. Not good conversation, but sex. To get in her pants. Now, I don't believe that's true. I believe that, hey, listen, look, I mean, if those are your motives, then I don't think that they're very good. And it's like, listen, I mean, because this is the thing, man. After the sex, then what the hell you got left? Because if you can't have a good conversation with the person, then man, then that's all you have. I mean, then you're just treating that person and the other person treating you like a filling station. Oh, time to get the gas, pump the shit up. I mean, it's like, that's bullshit. Then that's the thing where it's basically you're not happy with yourself, and that's basically like these incels, these involuntary celibate people, where it's like you're not happy with yourself, you're not happy with yourself internally, so now you're having to do this affect, basically projecting and acting, lashing out your actions to society or outward, and looking for comfort in the likeness of others who feel the same way that you do and have the same ideology. And that's not good. That's not good. That's not healthy. Okay. I mean, it is good for someone like me who hell, I mean, shit. I used to get long time ago when I was in the military. I get drunk as hell. I mean, I just get drunk as fuck, you know. And and I used to think a long time ago, man, it was the women that weren't into me. Nah, they weren't into some sloppy ass power drinker, man. They don't find that shit attractive. I mean, I don't care what the movies say. I mean, that's all bullshit. That's all fantasy. What the movies say. I mean, that's not real, man. I mean, women don't like that. Women are smart, and they don't want to put over that bull with some drunk ass motherfucker power drinker smelling like fucking Jaeger bombs and like fucking Red Bull and vodkas. No, they want to have a good time with the girlfriends at the club, at a bar. I mean, if they go home with a decent dude, or have a little fun with a guy or gal, whatever they're into, then that's cool. I mean, and the thing was is that I had to learn that a long, long time ago, you know, and that was my fault, right? Because I would go out with my boys, and I couldn't I couldn't moderate myself, because I was that wild jackbooted son of a bitch, work hard, play hard in the military. And, it wasn't until like I actually, found a lady who was like my first girlfriend in the military. I kind of, slowed my roll a bit. It's like I wouldn't even drink. I had like one drink and I sip on that damn thing all night when we would go. She's like, Greg, why don't you have more? I'm like, no, baby, I'm good. She could have as much liquor as she wanted to, but man, me, I would, I would calm myself. But it's not because I changed for her. It's because I changed for me. It was because I wanted to do it for me, because I didn't want to be, because I saw the reflection in the mirror and I was like, I'm not going to be that person around her. I can be better. And that's the thing about it, is that, incels, they can be better people. Okay. But they got to work internally. Right. It's like, if you don't feel that yourself is handsome, well, shit, or attractive or beautiful, if you don't think you're a gorgeous lady or a handsome man, then you know what? Then what can you do to make yourself handsome and attractive? And what can you do? I mean, is everybody born ugly? No, come on now. That's bullshit. Everybody's beautiful in some way. You know, some people have a beautiful mind. You know what I'm saying? And they can stimulate you intelligently. Some people have a great voice, and they can captivate you with their vocal cords, by just talking or singing, stuff like that. And maybe, yeah, maybe they may be a little bit on the heavy side, or maybe they may be on the little bit of the under weight side. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I mean, so long they think themselves as beautiful, for who they are, and you see themselves as beautiful too, then that's a good thing. It doesn't matter. But if you're a person that suffers from anxiety, like especially like social anxiety, and that's a big killer too, because if if I see a lot of people these days, and I'm not gonna say millennial generation, I'm just gonna say people in general, because I've seen this from my generation too. Generation X. A lot of people have social anxiety these days. You know, and I can say that, yeah, it's a little bit, it's a crazy, crazy world out there. But the thing is that you ain't gonna know until you start living. And that's the thing, is that, I mean, I went out today and I spent time with some friends, two friends of mine that I'm glad to call my friends. I mean, we were out at Starbucks. I mean, we had what the Flintstones say, a gay old time. I mean, it was great. It was fun. And I was kind of thinking to myself, man, I kind of don't want to go out. I kind of want to do a podcast. I kind of want to stay home. I kind of want to play a video game. And I would have missed out on so much if I didn't go out, and spend time with these two people, my friends. You know, what's even better is that we actually, me and one of my friends, we went out. We went out to a local shop where another friend of ours works at, and we spent good 30-40 minutes just bullshitting with him. And it was great. It was good, and we actually bought some stuff too, which was kind of cool. I mean, and I would have missed that experience, had I not gone out, had I not, ventured out, because I was actually talking myself out of getting out of the house. And I think that's what happens too a lot of times, is that we talk ourselves into not getting out, not venturing forth, into the unknown. And that's one of those things where it becomes and it's the truth. We become our own worst enemies. I mean, it's just the way it is. Because it's that internalizing fear that we have. But like I was saying, I mean, like, listen, look, I mean, I eat healthy. At least I try. I had a cheeseburger from Applebee's earlier today, so that was kind of like my cheat meal. I hadn't had one of those in, like, God, man, I want to say 3 or 4 months. It was so good too. I mean, let me tell you something. I fat boyed it up. I got bacon. I got cheese. Now I don't do dairy. This is the first time I did dairy. Wow. But yeah, and it was a big juicy burger. I mean, I was at my friend. He got a double patty. He slapped at it. He was like, "Give me another patty." Told the dude straight up, "Give me another patty." I was like, "Damn!" I mean, that thing was that damn big. It's like, it was monstrous. I was like, "Damn, son!" And you know what happened? He couldn't finish it. He had to get it to go box. It was so funny. But yeah, I mean, and we were talking about incels and stuff like that, and and yeah, I mean, and I'm for real. Like, I mean, I do see it's like what I said before, man. I've said it and I'll say it again. It's a pussification of a nation. It's people becoming manginas. Now you can say that it's a derogatory comment. Yeah, it is. Because it's not, it's you, because it's a derogatory comment in the way of you not taking accountability and responsibility for your actions, and you pulling yourself up out of them damn bootstraps and doing for yourself, things that you can. Hell, man, I tell you the truth. Sometimes it's very hard for me to do this. I took a long time, like probably 2 months off of doing the podcasting. I mean, because I got burnt out. I mean, I really did. I got burnt out on it. And I was talking to my buddy earlier. It's like, hey, man, I just got burnt out on it. It's like I needed to realign myself. I needed to step away from it and then come back fresh and rejuvenated and revived and re-inspired. And sometimes that's what you got to do. You just got to realign yourself. You know what? You can be whoever you want to be. You don't have to be the person. I mean, you can start right now. I guarantee you can start right now and change. That's like these incels. They can start right now and change. They can go to the gym, get a gym membership. Don't go to the gym every day. Just start off slow. Don't work out for like 30 minutes. I would say this: if you're a person who is an incel, I would say, listen, look, get a gym membership. Go to Planet Fitness, $10 a month. They got $1 down. Deal buster days going on. I just seen a damn commercial for it like yesterday. I mean, you do that. You go for 30 minutes. Don't get a trainer. You know what? There's plenty of stuff on YouTube that you can YouTube. I'll tell you the truth. There's plenty of stuff that you can YouTube. If you're like a novice, now sometimes it's overbearing. Sometimes it's overwhelming. And you feel like your damn head's going to explode. I know, because I remember back in the day when I first started working out, I didn't have this. I didn't have the internet. I mean, I would read books. I would read, I would watch I had the VHS tape of Pumping Iron, watch Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno and all these guys and stuff like that. And, and I would just try to mimic what they would do. I mean, I didn't really know about steroids back then and stuff like that. and all that jazz, and how they got that big. I mean, I didn't want to be as big as them, but I just wanted to be very masculine, you know. And because also too, you know, Commando and Rambo and like, you know, Predator and stuff like that, just Body of Ventura, you know, all that stuff. But the thing is that get a gym membership. I know I'm ranting a little bit. Get a gym membership. Go to Planet Fitness, $10, you know, $1 down, $10 a month, and just go on YouTube. Find out what you like to do. Okay, you know what, women? I'll give you a tip. Women love a guy with big shoulders. That's the number one thing that women look at is big shoulders. You know, they find that as the number one thing that's attracted to man. You know, shoulders and then the arms. So you know, you got the shoulders, you got the arms. You know, you got the arms over here. You know, it's like they like a guy with big shoulders, big arms. I mean, because it gives them that sense of it's like that old hunter guy, that protector. You know, especially if you're a tall dude. Like if you're like a guy, I'm 5'6", you know. Like if you're a guy who's like 6 foot and above, I mean, women love a guy, man. They feel, I mean, they feel protected. I mean, that's you know, and you don't have to do a lot. Hell, I don't even do a lot of weight. I mean, start off small, you know, and they have a thing that we call in the industry newbie gains, because you can gain muscle like that quick though, man. But the problem is that you got to eat a lot too. You know, you're gonna, because you're building muscle, you're tearing that muscle down, you're gonna eat more and more and more, and then basically you got to get in a good nutritional habit of eating more protein. And I'm not talking about like, you know, going to McDonald's or like Wendy's or fucking Jack in the Box or you know, Big Kahuna Burger or whatever the fuck, you know, fast food burger joint, or IHOP and having silver dollar fucking pancakes, you know, type shit. No, I'm talking about you need fucking protein, like, and you need good protein, lean, clean protein, like boneless, skinless chicken breast. Turkey is like leaner than, is the leanest poultry on the market, even leaner than chicken. You know, I do chicken breast, you know, myself. Boneless, skinless chicken breast. I cook it. I put in extra virgin olive oil. I bake it. You know, I also I have carrots. I have spinach that's green. You know, there's so much you can do. I mean, you know, and I have that morning, day, night, afternoon brunch. I mean, I have this stuff. Now, once again, I mean, I'll have my cheat meals. You know what I'm saying? I don't do a lot of carbs, or I do complex carbohydrates. You know, so I have like brown rice in there, because you got to have some type of carb or you're not going to have any energy. Because let me tell you, you know, when you get in a competition and trying to get that aesthetic look of just like having them, what is it? The 8-pack abs and just like the V shape, you know, that's like, and you have like little to no body fat. Basically, you look like, what's his name? Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt, you know, off of Fight Club, you know, when he's shirtless. I mean, that guy's 6 foot and he was 135 pounds. He was underweight. That's why he looked so ripped. He was 135 pounds. No shit. When he did that movie Fight Club, you know, I can imagine that guy was getting headaches and like just, you know, dehydrated all the time. I mean, and that's how you get looking like that, you know. And this is like before, you know, what is it, Photoshop and all that shit. You know, it's like that's how you get that look. I mean, even Chang Tatum has gone on record for saying when he did Magic Mike, when he got all that cut, he was having headaches, he was dehydrated, he would have to prolong the take sometimes, you know, with was it Steven Soderbergh, because of simple fact is that he was just pushing himself too hard, and that's what happens. So, but it's good to have those goals, you know, push yourself hard, but don't push yourself too hard. But yeah, I mean, another thing too, women like a guy with, I mean, women do like abs. They like a guy with a nice core, with a, you know, a good base. Also too, they like a guy with pecs. You know what I'm saying? Good chest. You know, very manly. You know, they don't want some dude with moobs or smoobs. Moobs being man boobs, smoobs being side boobs, as my brother likes to say. But they don't like man like that. You know, I mean, unless they into them, you know, big old teddy bears, you know, which I know some women are. They are. They feel very comfortable with a man being like that, you know. But the thing is that you can't. But these are things that you can do internally. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to work 110%. It's like me. Like, I work out because it helps me. It keeps me, yeah, it keeps me physically fit, but it also too, it keeps me active, keeps me motivated, keeps me going. It's something I can do when I can just escape in my working out. I get in what they call the zone, and that's all I think about. I get into my music, and then I do all that stuff, and yeah, and I just get into the zone. I just work out, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. And then when you see your muscles growing, when you get the newbie gains, like, let me tell you, you're gonna feel more confident. You're gonna have more energy. You're gonna feel more confident. Women, men, they're gonna look at you different. They're gonna be like, "Damn, son, you gain some muscle." I mean, people are gonna want to come up talk to you. But the thing is, though, is that they're initiating conversation with you. So what do you have to do? You have to talk to them back, because if you just like, "Yep, thanks," that's it. Then they'll be like, "Oh, okay, well, bye." Because then they're going to take that as a cue as, well, you don't really want to talk to them, you know. And that's the thing, is that if you're not a good speaker, if you're not comfortable speaking with people, it doesn't matter how nice you are. You can be the nicest person on the planet. But that's the thing. It's like, but if you're not a good public speaker, or just comfortable with speaking to people in the public in general, then nobody's really going to want to speak to you. No one's really going to want to get to know you, because they're just going to be like, okay, this person's really guarded. They don't want to be bothered. Which if you're like an incel, you're no, bother me. I mean, that's the way that's my interpretation of it, is like, no, I want to be bothered, but you don't know how to get around that. So you start blaming society, and that's not good. You gotta, the best thing to do, I would say personally, take classes. I would say that there's a person that I would that it kind of helped me. I've seen he's kind of a bit of a motivational speaker for men and women too. He doesn't discriminate. Mostly men, because just the way our culture is, our Western culture is that we're more groomed for men to make the initial move to women, because no one wants to be rejected. I mean, women don't want to be rejected, and men don't want to be rejected. And also too, if a woman sees that a guy doesn't make a move, then she sees that as not being confident in himself. True story, man. I've met women. I've met women before, and I've talked with them just like on a platonic level, and that's what they said. I wasn't trying to, get in the sack with them or anything like that. I just was like, hey, listen, I just want your own personal opinion on this. This is just, just for, academic reasons, which it was. And it was just, and they said, yeah, I mean, if a guy doesn't make a first move, usually I just see it as like they're not confident in themselves, And a lot of times, I mean, women, they like a guy to make that first move. Now, some women are just, you have to understand, here's the thing though, if a woman is like a 10, and like, let's say like an incel is like a 5, then yeah. That woman who's a 10 or an 11, if we're going by this is Spinal Tap logic, she knows she the shit, at least on the outside. Maybe really not on the inside. And she knows she can get any man she wants to. But she's probably looking for a man who basically A, has a nice fancy ride, B, going to basically support her ass, C, she just not going to have to do a lot. That basically she's like a trophy wife, a trophy girlfriend, and D, there's more other stuff that I can't really think of right now, but that's plenty. That's 3. But yeah, D, she's probably a dead lay too. She probably doesn't do fellatio, putting it very nicely. Because, and she's not going to go that extra mile to please her significant other, whether it be male or female. It's like, That's the thing. It's like, and that goes for tens, when it comes to the male spectrum as well. Men, I know guys who are like that too. Who like he was like, yeah, I don't give women head. I don't do that shit. I'm like, why the fuck not? And he's like, because I don't have to. Look at me. I used to know bullshit. I used to know a guy in the fucking military. He used to pull ass more than a fucking toilet seat, man. Public restroom toilet seat at that. I mean, shit. And he's told me that straight up. He's like, yeah, I don't go down on women because I don't have to. And I mean, this guy, I mean, he had the surfer look. I mean, he was, and he could, I mean, and he could do it. I mean, the guy, he was a handsome dude. He was a fucking 10, it's just, that's just it. Hell, man, I mean, looking at this guy, I even kind of questioned my own sexuality, you know what I'm saying? I was like, God damn, he's like, man, you're a pretty fucking pretty man, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was beautiful, god damn, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but nah, but for real, I mean, this guy, he was like that, and the thing was, and to me, that's like, hey, listen, look, if a partner, if a person's willing to go the extra mile, well, hell, man, it's not always nice to reciprocate, you know what I'm saying? It always is. It's always nice to reciprocate. And people appreciate that. People do, And yeah, so yeah, you just gotta be comfortable with yourself. You can't blame others for those actions. And you just, it's a detriment to the human species when people start doing that stuff, because even I have to start questioning that shit, because I'm like, damn, man, I mean, there are worse things to worry about, I mean, the only thing I can say to an incel is like, hey, man, you ever heard of a mail order bride? You want to try that shit out, but there, pal? There's a thing called a dowry here that you could probably, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you want to go to another motherfucking country. How about that shit, I mean, it's like, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that that's, I know I'm being funny, but if you're really having that much problems with people, with especially women of Western culture, man, then maybe you got to play in another league, maybe you need to play another fucking sport, I don't know. It's just an alternative. I'm not saying that's the solution, but once again, you cannot blame people. It is not a healthy thing to do, because then you have these people that start doing this wacko, crazy shit, like shooting up places and then killing themselves because they don't want to be alone in the madness. Because probably in their mind's eye, man, that for some reason, doing physical harm to people, then taking and then executing themselves is something that they don't want to be alone in, right? I mean, and it's not good. It's not, just because you see a person. I will say this, all right, because like I said, like that one guy, right? The Mr. 10, military 10, fucking 10, it's 10, that guy. He was not happy with himself. He wasn't. And it wasn't until now he got married later on, and he found him a good woman, and he changed for her and stuff like that. But he was not happy with himself at that time, And usually people are not. Even people who you and I would call, gorgeous or beautiful or handsome, it's like they have their own problems. They may not be your problems, because you don't feel as attractive as they are, but they're dealing with their own problems. Imagine this, man. Imagine if you're an attractive lady, you know, and you have a society where like males are the more people who hit on women, like our American society and stuff like that. Imagine you know, an attractive lady and you get hit on all the fucking time, right? I mean, imagine how she feels, you know, or even if it was vice versa. Imagine if it was a male getting hit on all the time, you know. I mean, that's just one of those things where it's just, you know, it's like they have their own problems, and you can't judge a person just on their looks alone, because they're probably going through some psychological shit. Maybe internally they're like, God, why did you have to make me so beautiful? Now some people would be like, man, that's some fucked up shit to say. You know, why the fuck would anybody be pissed off? Because, you know, it could, you know, that person may have dealt with like a person like harassing them, getting to the point where like they actually had to have like a restraining order against that person. You ever think about that shit? You know, doesn't matter if the male, female, transgender, whatever the fuck. I mean, now it's become now it's escalating to a point where it's unsafe, and they're having to look for their safety. And then you have stuff like what happened with these incels, you know, cases dating back 5 years ago. And the reason why I bring up this topic, and the reason why I call them pussies and manginas and stuff like that, is because the simple fact is that when you see something like people on the news talking about the Joker, or I'm sorry, Joker, with Joaquin Phoenix, gonna basically bring out the incels. It's an uprising of incels, and basically people uprising against the 1%. I have problems with that, because it's like, listen, look, number one, the movie's fantasy, okay? It's fantasy. Like, I really like the Joker. I'll tell you this right now, no bullshit. I actually laughed when motherfuckers were getting shot in it. You want to know why? You want to know why I felt that it was funny? Because number one, it was funny because the way that it died. But number two, and I'm not gonna tell you who died. I'm not spoil it for you. But when people died in it, you know, and it wasn't that much. When people died in it, the fact of the matter is, it wasn't real. It was fake. Okay. Those people did not die on set. Their characters died, but that was all fake. It's not reality. You want to see reality? Fucking go to war. You see some reality. You see some real shit. And some people, soldiers, are a part of that horror, you know, where they actually do the killing and see the killing firsthand. And it's very different between Hollywood, you know, stuff and real life stuff. Tell you honest God truth, it is. Ain't no bullshit. But I can laugh at that, because I know that that ain't the realness of death and killing. At least not in war, you know. But yeah, so yeah, that's why, that's like stuff like and this ain't no bullshit either. I was telling one of my friends that I was hanging out with today. I told him this. I was like, you know what? I was going to see the Joker today, because I was trying to get another one of our friends to go out and see it with me, because I hate going to the movie theater by myself. It's depressing as shit. And also too, it's very hard for me nowadays to go out to the movies just in general, and being in that atmosphere nowadays. But the thing is that I told him that I really wanted to see the movie I wanted to see more, and I actually want to see this movie more than I do the Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars, is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And it's a Quentin Tarantino movie. I'm not big into Quentin Tarantino. I love Pulp Fiction. I really like Reservoir Dogs. I love Django Unchained. You know, but the thing is, though, the reason why I want to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because it's you have these two characters, Cliff and Rick Dalton, played by famously by what the Tyler Durden, what's his name? I done forgot now. Brad Pitt, there we go, and Leonardo DiCaprio, Pretty Boy, oh Titanic. But I mean, from what I've heard about it, it's stellar reviews, rave reviews, and it just feels like a small movie. I mean, it feels like a love letter to Hollywood, you know, that Quentin Tarantino has done. You know what? It's not even playing here no more in John City. I can't find it anywhere. But it does come out November 5th, I do believe, on DVD and Blu-ray and 4K. So I can't wait to see that movie. But yes, I did want to see that movie more than Joker. I wasn't even going to see Joker, but I saw the time. The first showing was at was around 12. I got some lunch, hopped back to the movie theater real quick, got a good seat, and I saw the movie and thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, I laughed my ass off when people were dying in it, man. Does that make me a psychopath? Does that make me crazy? No. You want to know why? Because it's fake. It's not real. It's fake violence. But when you have people on news stuff, I don't care if it's Fox News, I don't care if it's MSNBC, I don't give a fuck what channel it is. I don't care if you're a libertarian or if you're Bill Maher or if you're Sean Hannity, Rachel Maddow, what's the other guy? Bill O'Reilly. I don't care a fuck who you are. Okay? What type of pundit you are, I don't care what your political views are. But when you start spreading that shit, that this is going to be the uprising of incels and the 1% is going to go all the shit, and this is just a fucking movement, things of this nature, man, this is where I have problems. So I'm like, listen, look, whoa, take a long step backwards, a long backbeat, just back up that whole line. All right. No, it's not. It's fake. Appreciate for what it is, and I really did think it was a great movie. I thought it was a beautiful movie. My buddy who also saw it too, actually this past weekend when it first came out, he thought it was a great movie as well. No shit. But yeah, that's where I have problems, and that's when and that's my whole interest into this incels thing in the first place. Because let me tell you something, I would have never have delved into this incel stuff. Involuntary celibates, because I didn't even know about it. I didn't know it was a thing until they started doing this blame game about the Joker, right? And the damn thing made over $96 million on a $55 million budget. Now, you times that by 2 because of marketing and stuff, so it's $110 million that it has to make before it can make profit. And the damn thing has like over $248 million. I can imagine that movie is going to break $500,000 pretty damn easy. It may get up to $750 million by the end of its run. I don't think it's going to cross $1 billion, but it sure as fuck may cross 750 or 700. But yeah, that's where I have problems, because it's like, listen, look, I mean, the accountability and responsibility comes with you as an individual person, And when you have things like an echo chamber, like an incel thing, it doesn't even have to be incel. It could be like whatever. Like you hate the damn Teletubbies, man. So you go on a subreddit about fucking hating Teletubbies and all this other bullshit. Or you hate the old pound puppies, for fuck's sake. Or Cabbage Patch Kids, Garbage Pail Kids, Cabbage Patch, all that shit. You go on a damn subreddit, next thing you know, you want to protest and, you want to fucking, have all, it's like, yeah. You see how crazy it is? See how nonsensical it is? Yeah, it becomes crazy. It just does. I mean, we are living in crazy, crazy times, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, and I know I'm rambling on a little bit. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But it just, and I ain't trying to be a dead horse, and I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not trying to be a dead horse. But if you change has to start with an individual, and that is you. You can't blame the Stacys and the Chads of the world because what that is, ladies and gentlemen, that's called subjective projection. It's a real damn thing. You can look it up. I ain't making that bullshit up. It's a psychology term. Subjective projection. It's what you subjectively project onto a person, your viewpoint, how they look, how you view them. In the sociological terms, in society, and you got to stop that. You know what? As corny as fuck, and I'll say this: I used to do this actually because I didn't know what the hell else to do. But I told myself this: after I stopped drinking, because I drank myself sober one time, and this ain't no bullshit. I had a $500 bill at the end of the night. Now I know I didn't drink $500 worth of drinks, but I probably bought some rounds for my friends and I. My brothers in arms and all that jazz. But I know I drank a lot. Once I drank myself sober, I was like, all right, I'm gonna talk to women and just I'm gonna man the fuck up. That's what we call it too. Called manning the fuck up. Grab your balls, grab your nuts, and man up. That's what we call it in the military. And so you know what I did? No bullshit. This is what I used to do. I say, hello, ma'am. My name is Gregory. Nice to meet you. I saw you from over at the bar, from across the way, and I just wanted to tell you, I think you have a very beautiful smile. So you're talking with your friends, didn't mean to interrupt your conversation. But hey, I don't know if you would like to get to know me a little bit better, but if you would be so kind, I would like to give you my number. Now, let me tell you something. Did it work? Not really. I mean, there was, I would say a couple of times, maybe a few, 2 or 3 times. Now we got to talk. Now I got to tell you, we're talking about like 10 to 20 times, But out of those 10 to 20 times, 3 were like, they laugh at first, they giggle. And I'm like, and I kind of like, I would look down and giggle to myself. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking stupid. Here I am. I am not being Mr. Rico Suave, slicking back their eyebrows. And, she was like, you know what? That sounds pretty nice. My name's Rebecca, nice to meet you, Greg. It's like, here, I have a pen and you can write down your number. And yeah, I may give you a call sometime. You know what they did? Yes, yeah, they kind of gave me a call sometime, and yeah. And to the Rebeccas of the world, thank you very much, But you know what? But number one, I was happy for myself because I did it, because I didn't need liquid courage in myself to talk to a woman. I felt really good about myself because, as corny as it was, she saw that that I had the courage enough and the balls enough to go up and talk to her, in front of her friends. I singled her out. Now, usually that's a bad thing because you see a woman with her girlfriends, usually that's a bad sign. But I did say, but I would say hello, ladies. I would say, I would not make them like the fucking premonitions, or I don't recognize their presence. You know what I'm saying? I would never do that. That would be disrespectful and rude. And if she turned me down, she shot me down. Damn right, she has all right to. Every right to, because I insulted her friends. I mean, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, but later on, I mean, it's like I try to think of other ways I could, and that's like where the my excuse me, that's like my business card and stuff like that. That's where that kind of comes in, too. And it's not, it's I wouldn't say it's a gimmick or a prop. I mean, more of like, listen, look, I mean, it's readily, it's available, it's right there. You know what I'm saying? And also too, it's that sometimes you just got to grab your nuts. Even I now, sometimes I have problems. I get scared too, talking with a female. I was like what I was telling you about Stacy at the VA. I almost talked myself out of talking to her. Almost did. Almost did. But the thing is that life will give you the opportunity to talk to people, man, woman, transgender, whoever. You know, life will give you those opportunities, but it's you yourself that has to grab it. Not take control of it, but just kind of grab it and make sure that you follow through in the direction that you would like it to go. Now the thing is that even though you can grab it, right, there's only so much that you can do to sway the conversation into your favor, right? Because then it becomes controlling, then it becomes very manipulative, then it becomes very then becomes a very toxic situation, and it's not good. It becomes very domineering. And I'm attracted to people, just even hanging out wise, just platonically. I'm attracted to people who are strong-willed, strong mind, who are stubborn as fuck, usually like me. And because I know where they're coming from, right? I mean, we may differ on opinions, but that's some people that I just cannot stand being around, because they're too much like me. But they may differ on opinions of mine, and I try to see it their way, to try to see it my way. But the thing is that at the end of the day, I can respect them. I can have I can actually have a conversation with them, and be like, what, I don't agree with your way. I understand it, and I respect it. But yeah, it's like it's just one of those things where you just can't get mad if things don't go the way that you want them to. Sometimes the thing is that sometimes it's just good practice, until you get to that person that spins you, and basically you just knock it out of the park. I mean, you don't even have to think of stuff to talk about. You think of something, and then she or he or they piggyback of what you talk about and stuff like that, and you just have like this organic conversation, whether it's online or in person. I mean, I'm more of an in-person person, but I mean, if it's online, then great, and then yeah, and then that's like even if you were to talk to a person online, right, and you were like, yeah, like I want to get into working out and stuff like that, or I want to get in better shape, I want to start cooking more meals instead of getting fast food, because I see myself, like I know it's unhealthy and stuff like that. And it's like, you talk with that person and like, hey, how about this? How about we make a deal? How about starting today, tomorrow, we both, do this, get gym membership, Planet Fitness got this sale going on. And then, I think my mom has a Betty Crocker cookbook that I can borrow, and I'm going to start cooking meals for myself. And you know what? It's like, and then you talk with the person online. Hey, so how's it going with on your end? And like, hey, actually, it's going great. I actually did my first workout. I'm cooking a little now. I know I'm gonna be sore tomorrow, but you know what? And it's like, how did everything go with you? It's like, great, yeah, same here, And you can talk about it. It's like, yeah, I'm not looking for tomorrow, but I know I'm. And then you can like bounce off of like, hey, what did you do today? Well, I did chest and back. Oh, that's cool. I did arms. I did biceps and triceps. And I did about 3 workouts total and all this jazz. And then you can, and then you're not just making good conversation just to make conversation. Now you're supporting each other, right? By getting in a better state, mentally, physically, emotionally, and stuff like that. And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, You know, it's a beautiful thing. But, and I'll leave off with this because I know I've been going on for almost an hour and 10 minutes now. I will say this, that it starts with the individual, and you cannot blame society, people, for the mishaps in your life. You can't. It's wrong to do that. Even if you're like, why the fuck? Why me? It's just that some people, good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people all the time. We're just people just trying to live, right? Just trying to get along with one another. And a detriment is when you have people like these involuntary celibates blaming good-looking people for their problems and their loneliness. Because to me, it's like this. You don't want to be alone? Buy a fucking dog. Get a cat. Go to the shelter. Adopt an animal. Oh, but that may not be what you want. But maybe it's what you need. And with that being said, folks, I'm going to get off here. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to just listen to me talk about this, about the Manginas of the world, the pussification of a nation, the incels. And hopefully we can, hell, I don't know, slap some damn sense into them. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to get off now. If you would be so kind as to share the video, share it with a friend, hell, share it with multiple people. If you want, like the video, subscribe to the channel, or give it a thumbs down if you want. Do what you do, baby. It's all right. Comment below. Let me hear your thoughts on on what you think about it. What you think about the incels, and apparently their rising movement, or or what you think of what manginas are. I mean, hell, I wouldn't mind hearing about that. But yeah, and yeah, comment below, subscribe to the channel if you want, give it a like, share it with your friends, share it with two, share it with multiple. And with that being said, I think it's time. I'm gonna get off now. I just want to say love to all, God bless, and as always, the magic word, baby, aloha. All right, thanks so much.